Hey, welcome back to the studio. It's Serica, and today I'm gonna flip through my little journal that I have here. I've been writing in this every day since September 1st, and I'm a little nervous to show you it. I'm gonna read some passages from it. Yeah, I just wanted to show you guys because I've been posting little videos here and there across my socials of just a few pages, and I had been meaning to do a longer, more in-depth flip through and tour of this. But before I do that, I wanted to talk about the actual journal. So this is the Sterling Ink A6 notebook. It is the perfect notebook for me. I love when I find a book that it feels like home. The grid size is perfect, the paper is perfect for fountain pens, and it's the best size. So yeah, this is the Sterling Ink notebook inside of a Midori leather cover. And I've been using this cover for different A6 planners in the past, like my Hobonichi A6. I used that in 2022. This is the original color, or close to it. And as you can see, it has developed such a beautiful patina from just me touching it, holding it like this. You can tell that this is like the most used part right here. And that's the beauty of having these covers that are pretty much gonna be with me for a lifetime. They develop their own unique personality based on how I'm using them. Okay, so let's get into it. September always reminds me of new beginnings. I suppose that's why I feel hopeful for a fresh start. I feel excited to start this journal and a new routine. It's been a rough summer. Lots of illnesses and sleep disturbances. Okay, I'm not gonna read my whole journal, but you get the idea. I start off with my feelings, and then I just go from there. I don't use any other writing prompt except for I feel. That's just all I need. It's just, I wanna tap into my emotions, and that will lead the way. It'll lead into what happened that day. It'll lead into a reflection of the last several months or another sort of time period, or it will lead me into processing my past and my burdens and my trauma, and then I can let it go, or I can work through my fears for the future. So I guess in a way, writing about how I feel is me time traveling. That doesn't make any sense. All right, I'm also journaling about mundane things such as, you know, different notebooks. I journal about my planner. I journal about my journals. It's just what we do here in the planning and journaling community. That was awkward, but that's who I am. Oh, this was a good day. It's the first day of school for the kids, and I'm feeling wistful about the passage of time and excited about returning to my creative endeavors. Motherhood holds so many dualities. You simultaneously want your kids around all the time, and you also miss being independent. So I'm also trying to, I guess, work through big feelings and feelings that are conflicting and holding multiple truths at the same time. This is why I journal, because I feel so strongly and I'm a very sensitive person. Really cool. I love looking back. Even though it was only a couple weeks ago that I wrote this, it was like, I wouldn't just like randomly think about that, you know? And I'm really glad I wrote about my feelings about the first day of school for the kids, because it had been so long since I had that time to myself. And now I'm like taking it for granted almost. So I'm glad that I'm looking back on it. It makes me more grateful for what I have. Yeah, I think that's really good for mental health as well. Here I was working through my anxiety and some of the fears I had about posting on YouTube again. Because I had taken such a long break from doing so, I felt really unsure. I felt a little bit vulnerable about talking about, like, you know, depression, mental health, and things like that. But now I'm just like super used to it because it's been so long. So yeah, I'm glad I was able to process that fear, get over it, and just put myself out there and start making videos again. I also like to just decorate test out my stickers here and there, but I don't want to make the decorating and the stickering the main focus of my journaling. I only want it to supplement it, and I've got a couple pages in here where I didn't sticker at all. I used to make that like the main focus, which is totally fine as well, but that's just not my main goal for this journal. In this entry, which I'm not going to read out loud, I talk about how my inner critic has become more of a cheerleader for me after I worked with my inner critic to find out why she was being so critical, where those criticisms came from, and of course it had a lot to do with how I was raised as a child. So I often check in with my inner critic in my journal. Sometimes I'll write just a few sentences, and other times I'll write a whole page. It really just depends. I just want to make sure that I'm writing every day, even if it's just one sentence or one word. I don't know, that's just a goal that I've committed to, and I am really proud of myself for sticking with it for so long. Tired but happy. I've been feeling that way a lot lately. I will write I'm tired but happy so many times in this journal, because that is exactly how I feel all the time. I am tired but happy, literally the next day. Yup. Yeah, whenever there's blue, red, or just brown, I know that it wasn't the best time. And there was often some sort of frustration or irritation. And I still think it's important to write about those things. Life is not just sunshine and rainbows. No stickers. Still wrote. Today we had a very happy morning and I feel so relieved and joyous. Jaden was very excited about our plan to walk to school in the stroller, and he was pumped about soccer. So I'm just writing about just being able to walk to school. You know, that was so fun. Very little thing, but that's just what makes life beautiful. Those little things. Writing about how grateful I am to be able to write after doing chores, before jumping into the business of the day. I wrote about Jaden riding a pedal bike without training wheels for the first time. It's just like, man, this stuff is so interesting, even though it happened just a few weeks ago. And maybe it's not interesting to everyone else, but this is what is important to me. Lots of yellow, which means happy. I feel okay. I honestly feel like whatever I do, I'm still worthy. That's not been the case for my whole life. Uh-oh, we got some red here. I was irritated, which is totally valid. Pretty happy here because my sister came over. I'm having an I don't want to be an internet person moment. I feel irritated and annoyed that I have to engage with trolls sometimes. Just part of being an internet person. Ooh, having a depressive episode. Got myself out of that depressive episode. Nice. Self-care. Working through stress. Yeah, I'm kind of going through the rest of this really fast, but ooh, on this week, you'll notice that I have a lot of entries on one page, a whole week's worth, and that's because I was so busy. I was going through some major life changes. I even stamped this date wrong. It was supposed to be 12, not 21, but I was committed to writing every day. I have this all on record, and what's cool about it is even though I know this week was so hard, one of the hardest weeks of my life, I was shocked, I was sad, I was scared. It was a huge life change. I was in grief. I can see that I worked through it and I pulled myself out of it, just like I have with every other time I have been shaken to my core. When I was brought down to my knees, I was always able, with support, you know, or by my own strength, pull myself out of it. And so, time and time again, I can see the patterns, and I think that's really encouraging. No stickers. I didn't have the heart to sticker on these next couple pages. I was entering yet another depressive episode. Current events are just really awful, and at the same time there were other things going on in my life that were very tumultuous as well. And here we have today. A blank page, a new start, a new record, which I have yet to write down. So that's what has been happening in my journal since September 1st. And for the rest of this notebook, it'll probably go into most of 2024. You can see by the amount that I write, I don't need that much space. I was actually considering getting the passport size notebook that Sterling Ink offers. It was so cute, but I wasn't sure how I would like having a thread bound, like this type of binding inside a cover like this. So this is so perfect for me inside of this cover. But I toyed around with the idea of a different size. I don't know, but my handwriting is just so tiny and I don't write that much. I just feel like I would get overwhelmed. They also make a really thick notebook, double the size, and I was tempted by that too, but then I realized it wouldn't fit in my cover and I would probably get overwhelmed. So this is very comfortable for me, and I hope they never go out of production, honestly. Might have to stock up, I don't know. So these are the only two notebooks I'm currently using, to be honest. I'm not really using my Passport Traveler's notebook at the moment. My friend Christina gave me this beautiful limited edition, I think from 2022. Does it say in here? I don't know. She gave me this a while ago. She sent it to me all the way from Texas, and I've been holding on to it because I am hoarding it. I don't want to use it just yet, but maybe I should. Maybe I should just use the nice things now. Maybe I could draw in it or collage in it because I like to collage. I have been doing very minimal collaging in here because I don't want to make it the main focus, but maybe I can just do collaging in here. I don't know. So that's my passport size. I'm not actually using it though, just looking at it. And then I've got my regular size, which I have been leaving neglected, poor thing. And the only thing I did was this a couple weeks ago, and I also just keep my stickers in it. The stickers in which I sell in my shop, sericastudio.com. Go check it out if you're interested in these. And I am gonna sticker some more pages in my journal later with these. But the main notebook that I use besides my journal is this one. And I know that I need to tweak my method a little bit because things have been falling apart. And when things are falling apart, I know I need to tighten up my planning method because it's not working out. It was for a while, and then things changed. There was a shakeup. So I think this is fine. I think the monthly calendar is fine. But what I need to change up, my friends, are the weeklies. This was working out okay, but as you can see, it's not enough, I think. I think I need more structure, and I need to redo these ideal routine pages. I think that's the key. So I sat down with my husband the other day and I said, these ideal routines are changed, and that's why I'm no longer using this, and that's why things are kind of falling apart. Not falling apart, the kids are still fine, you know, we're still doing stuff, but I don't feel like I'm as efficient as I need to be, and I feel like I'm floating around lost sometimes. And when I feel that way, I know that I need to ground myself with some more plans so that I know what to do. And because the ideal routine has changed so much, I need to go back into this document and type up those changes so that I know for sure what to do. Also, I do that with my husband because we're a team and we've switched so many things around. And so it doesn't really say who's doing what. And so because we have delineated the tasks, we're gonna switch that up. And I'm gonna put maybe 2 columns here and write down Sam and Serica, that's me, and then what are we doing together as well. So this is something that I think changes all the time. Like when you have kids and they're constantly growing up and they have new developmental milestones or their routine changes or their schedule changes, you kind of have to adjust accordingly. And I think that's the problem here. This is old news. That's what's going on there. I also haven't really been commonplacing, and there have been things that I want to put in here. I want to do some updated parts work that I've discovered about myself. I want to do some psoriasis stuff. So for those of you who didn't know, I have psoriasis. I just went to the dermatologist and I got some new diagnoses, and I'm going to be starting a new medication, so I want to update that. And yeah, I also really need to do some strategizing for work as well. That is my plan to make this work better for me in the next several days. So I'll definitely be doing a video about that. I'm also getting ready to transition into my Take a Note planner, and I think what I'm gonna do after setting up my November pages is to start thinking about how I can maybe do some mock-ups of the weekly pages and maybe make a version of that for my weekly plans, because I know that hasn't been working out for me, the horizontal weeklies that I've been using. So that's my current notebook situation. Not really gonna be using December here. So yeah, I will be setting up my November stuff. It is the end of October now, so we're coming up to that sort of video. And I'd like to not neglect these anymore. So that's kind of what I've got going on. All right, so that is all I have for the rest of this video. There's nothing really I want to say about this sort of thing. I think I covered everything. These are all my notebooks. What can I say? Nothing else. That's it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's quite enough for me. In fact, that may be too many for me. But I'm not willing to let any of them go. Let me know if you feel the same way. How many do you have? I've seen people out there with like tons and tons of traveler's notebooks and so many journals. I'm like, how do you do it? How do you keep up? I barely can keep up with these 5. Yeah. Anyways, see you later. Bye.